Hey guys, welcome to the Killing the Tea podcast. This is Gare,
And Kate.
and we are going to be discussing all things chills, thrills, and kills. Kate and I are going to be talking about our favorite books, TV shows, and movies that are in the thriller or crime fiction genre, as well as some reading habits and other items related to how we met on Bookstagram that will fit in with this podcast. So, thank you so much for joining us, and we hope that you have fun and get totally terrified. I keep getting this book mixed up, the first book
Mm-hmm.
confused with another book that has a similar plot of like the woman whose sister, friend, cousin, neighbor, something went missing years ago and then like found
Mm-hmm.
out that like she was like killed in like a hit and run. Like it was like super rainy and she was like hit by a car.
Oh,
But like you don't find out until the end. And I was like, well, that like I just keep I don't know why, I don't know what book it is, and I don't know
mm-hmm.
why I keep thinking of it, but
I hate when that happens. I have that happen every now and then.
there's
Or like
some
sometimes I'll just remember a really specific scene and I'll be like, that was so good. I was like, what book is it from?
yeah, like all I can remember is this like in the end of this book finding out that like I don't know if it was like somebody was drunk driving and like
Mm-hmm.
hit her and like found her like under the truck and then like hit her body, but it like wasn't it wasn't like the big murder that they thought that it was.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
um
I can't always tell how I feel about those when the answer is like, oh, it was nothing. Exact like that. Like
um
that.
ugh.
Sometimes
Yeah,
it works and sometimes it does not.
I think so I think it depends on how it's written. Like
Mhm.
if I'm reading a book about unsolved cold case murder or unsolved cold case death, and they're like it's a killer, it's a murderer, it's this
Right.
horrible person, some part of me believes it even when you find out like it was an accident or it was something else that isn't as dark as you seem, because I think the thing is right now with society is like when a young woman goes missing, you
Mhm.
automatically assume the worst.
Yeah.
So that's why sometimes it works for me, but it depends on how it's written.
Yeah, I agree. It does come down to that.
If
And
you have
sometimes like the other things happening in the story make it just like, oh, okay, I'm fine with that.
if you have like somebody who like goes missing and there's like 10 people that want to kill them and you're just throwing red herring and red herring at me,
Right.
and then it's like, oh no, she accidentally like slipped on a rock and fell into the ocean and nobody ever saw her again. I'm like, fuck me, at least let somebody
I
push
spent
her.
all of this time for
Yeah,
this.
thanks for the 400 pages of nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't had too many bad ones lately, thankfully.
I just don't, you know what my problem is I keep just forcing myself to read things because I want to read. I just don't know what I want to read. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like reading things and I'm like, oh, that was pretty good. But I don't know if it was pretty good because I actually didn't enjoy it or if it was just pretty good because like I started reading it and realized I probably should have picked up something different.
Oh my gosh.
So
That's
life
like a
is
bad cycle
just,
to be stuck in.
yes, I am right now known as the toxic reader.
I know. I know. You got all
Be-
kinds of toxic ideas.
Speaking of toxicity,
Yeah.
are you ready for your icebreaker?
I think I'm ready.
Okay. Um, I've been reading a lot of toxic relationship, watching movies with toxic relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and my icebreaker is what would be your like biggest toxic trait? And if you don't genuinely think that you have a toxic trait, because I actually don't like I can't picture you actually having one, if you don't have one, then what would you say is your like best defense on getting toxic people out of your life?
Well, thank you for asking. Um, I've been dying to talk about the darker parts of myself. Um, so it's an interesting way to phrase the question because you're asking what's my most toxic trait
Mhm.
and what protects me the most from toxic people, and it's actually my toxic trait. So I'm really good at growing a cute little pile of resentment inside of me with people, And
Mhm.
then when they finally push me too far, I'm just completely done with them. Like, just completely done. I don't care to talk about it. I'm just done. On the flip side, being able to cut people out protects you from toxic people who
True.
don't deserve to be in your life. So I feel like my answer is the same for both questions.
I actually think the same thing about myself. Like, I at first, in what I've been reading and watching lately, was like,
Mhm.
my toxic trait is that, like, and this has happened before.
Mhm.
It's not just something I'm like imagining as my toxic trait, but like I will
Yeah.
give people chances. I will be fine communicating with you. This is what's bothering me. This is
Mhm.
what you've done that pissed me off. But I get to a certain point where like I feel like I'm not getting through to you anymore, or you're not
Mhm.
allowing me to communicate anymore because you like think it's like a waste of time or whatever. So then I'm
Yep.
like, all right, I'm done. Like I
Yeah.
gave you a few chances. Now, my toxic trait, honestly, is I'm really good at cutting people out.
Mhm.
But my second toxic trait is
Show
that
off.
my they're kind of connected. My
Yeah.
second toxic trait, or I guess like maybe like something that holds on to my toxic trait, like an appendage
Mhm.
of it, is that I cannot tell you how many times people have been cut out of my life over one thing or over two things, but then there are other people that have gotten 5, 10, 15 chances. So
Yeah.
my biggest toxic trait is that like I am beyond willing to cut you out and I'm good doing
Mhm.
it, but you just don't know when it's going to be. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, one and done, or like, two times, or like third time strikes out, whatever that shit. Like,
Yes.
I'm like, depending
You're
on the situations,
unpredictable.
I'm very unpredictable. Like, it could be like
Yeah.
one thing, and I'm like, fuck out of here. Or it
Interesting.
could be like, this is the 10th time you've pulled this shit, and I don't care if it's the 10th
Mhm.
time you've done it in like 10 years, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done. So,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Mine
I
is
agree.
pretty much I like that you gave your toxic trait and then the most toxic thing about your toxic trait.
And the most
uh
toxic thing about that.
but mine definitely is more. There's a quote that says, I don't trust words. I even question actions, but I never question patterns. So
Mhm.
mine is like the second it feels like it's a pattern, I'm done. I'm just done.
Yeah.
It's really hard for people to change patterns. And if they don't seem like they're someone who can look at their patterns, then I know it's not going to change anyway. So I'm not wasting my energy on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had like friendships that have like fizzled out, because of like people change. Like it's
Oh,
totally
yeah.
normal. I'm
Mhm.
completely fine with a friendship. Like I'm completely fine drifting apart from a friend
Yeah.
because like at the end of the day, like, people are there for you for like a reason, a season, or for some pleasing. And I don't know what the saying is.
I don't know,
but,
but that's perfect.
but like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you just need that sort of friend in your life in that moment. And then like
Mhm.
as time goes on, people change. They drift, like, especially in your 20s, like
Yes.
I am single. I do not have children. And I like had friends that we were single and did not have children together. And then they got married and they started families. And I'm like,
Yep.
good for you. I'm happy for you. But like our friendship
Mhm.
drifted apart because we have different lifestyles.
Yes.
And now I'm more introverted and like I want the friends that are fine with like one-on-one time,
Yep.
stuff like that. Like the people that always want you to go to like big social gatherings, I'm like,
No,
I'm not
thank
going to
you.
make like great friends at a social gathering when I'm trying to like spend 15, 20 minutes with like each person. No, thank you.
Right.
But like I, have definitely like lost friends over the years, and like people are like, "Oh, like I'm so surprised you and so are not friends anymore because you've been friends for years and years and years." And I'm like,
Mhm.
it just always seems like
Yeah.
people don't expect it. And like to me, a number means nothing. Like you could be my
Yep.
friend for 10 years and like I have no problem cutting you out if like
Right.
your bullshit is getting to be bullshit.
Problematic. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you cause me stress, anxiety, or you're bringing drama into my life that I try to protect myself from, like
Yes. Yeah.
fly
I just
south.
feel like more and more I have
I'll
less
stay
and
north, you fly south with your bullshit. That's how I feel about
yes.
that.
Yeah.
Because like you and I have been friends for a very short period of
I
time.
know.
I feel like I know you very well.
Hmm.
Like that's why I was very interested when I was like when I woke up this morning and chose violence and I was like
You chose
I
violence.
I'm in a mood. Here's the
Hmm.
icebreaker I want to do tonight. And
And I was like, I'm always in that mood.
yeah, but like when I like said that, I was like, I don't know what your toxic trait would be, which is
Yeah.
why I was like, what is your toxic trait? Or what do you protect yourself from other people's toxicity? Because
Hmm.
like I've known you for a short time. I feel like we're very close, but
Hmm.
you know, I don't see you
Since we are
having,
in person too, or like in the same friend group, we haven't like experienced anything where like that would come up too. You know what I mean? Like we haven't
yeah,
been in a situation where you're like, oh, so that's how you handle things under stress.
very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But
such a good topic
yeah, well, I've been watching like I watched The War of the Roses this weekend
though. Nice.
and I've like read some Colleen Hoover books, where I'm like,
Mm.
what the hell? How would I handle that situation? And I think the
Yeah.
thing that made me think of it is because anytime I'm in that situation where there's somebody toxic in my life,
Mhm.
I like really try to like do my best to like be good at communicating, but also
Yeah.
like if I hit a wall with that, like I'm very good at letting
Yes.
go. And
Yep.
I always feel like sometimes a friendship or a relationship ends. And like when you feel like
Mhm.
a weight has been lifted, you're doing the right thing.
That is a really, really good point. Yeah,
If
like
I
especially
ever,
if you're debating if you need to end it, if the
yeah,
idea of like not having to talk to them anymore brings you relief, might be worth doing.
yeah, that like I've never ended a friendship that I regretted. You know what I mean? Cause like
Same.
at the end of the day, like if you end a friendship with somebody or you end a relationship with someone and like
Mhm.
you are very like upset and you're like, I wish I could do this, you could almost label it as like an argument or a fight and make up with that person. But if you feel like a
Yeah.
weight has been lifted and like you're fine with it,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
like I'm good moving on.
Mhm.
But I think
Yeah.
that's why like I thought of the idea because I've been like reading and watching a lot of things about toxic relationships and toxic friendships
Yeah.
and then thinking about my own experiences with that topic.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, maybe the reason why I have a hard time believing some of the decisions that people make in those positions is because I'm very much like, I guess you would say like a fight or flight. Like, I'm just gonna like bounce, dude. Like, I'm not
Mhm.
gonna,
You're
like,
gonna
I'm not a real
fly.
housewife.
No, I'm not either. I'm really
I'm
not either.
not,
I don't want
if
to
you,
waste energy. Just like if I think I'm right, I don't need to waste energy proving that I am. I already believe it.
no, no.
I
I
don't need to
always
stand
believe,
there.
I think this is why I kind of like Candace from Potomac. Well, I really like Candace
Oh
from Potomac
yeah.
but I feel
Mm-hmm.
like she is good with like a war of words, but like she really
Yes,
only snaps and claps back at people when they come at her first. And I kind of feel
she
like that's how
does.
I am. Like I
Mm-hmm.
will never go somewhere and be like, oh, I'm gonna start some drama tonight. Like,
No,
oh, I'm gonna bring this up to see like what reaction. Like I'm not a Lisa Rinna,
no,
but
no,
like
I'm not either.
if somebody comes at me, I have no problem like sticking up for myself or
Yeah,
speaking of it, but like
yeah.
that's just not my vibe.
Would you say that you don't start shit, but you can tell them how it ends?
I wish I could, but I feel like most of the people that start shit with me like don't know when to let it go. So they just keep
You didn't
going and
catch
going.
it. It was just a lyric reference.
I did, but like I can't say
You can't not answer.
I can't answer it the way that I want to because I'd love to say that, but my experience with people starting shit with me is that they do it out of pure entertainment
Yeah.
and then like I can end it with like most people who don't want to be assholes, but like some people
Hmm.
just don't know when to stop arguing,
They don't.
even if they're like grasping at straws.
Yeah. Some
Or if
people
they
like grasping.
I love when you're arguing with somebody though and they realize that they're wrong and you see it in their
Yes.
eyes.
Oh, it's the best moment.
Oh, I love that.
It might be better than sex, that moment. So vindictive.
Yeah. Like when they're like, well, actually,
Yes.
and you're
And
like,
you just
actually, this we're done here.
yep. You just found the fault in your argument
Yeah, yeah. That's my
on your
favorite.
own.
I do like to argue if it's as
Mhm.
long as I don't know. I just hate when people interrupt me.
Yeah, I'll debate, I guess. And
Yeah.
then if I don't see it's going anywhere, I just get bored.
Yeah.
What we've
God, you would
definitely learned tonight, though, is that
I feel bad
we
for
will either be friends forever or it will be bad when it ends.
yeah, but like anything I've ever talked to you about that I'm complaining
Mhm,
about a social situation or something like relating to a friendship or a potential relationship. Well, I haven't talked to you about a potential
mhm.
relationship because I haven't had my hall pass yet, but that was one of the things I was cracking up about the other day.
That was
Was like me
so
being like,
funny.
what would my hall pass be? And I'm like, wait a second, I don't get hall pass. But like anything I've ever talked to you about where I'm like complaining or like venting,
Mhm.
I feel like you're like I get it. Like this is
Yeah,
why,
I
so like
I
I think
yeah,
I don't see like
I can't imagine that we would ever fight. But now we know it would be like World War 4, 3, 4,
no,
whatever.
I don't think it would.
I just don't think it'll happen.
I think that you're way too good at communicating that there wouldn't
Yeah,
be an
probably both of
actual
us.
that you there wouldn't be an actual argument.
Mhm,
Um I've said this to my friend Cindy as well, like very early on in our friendship. I was like,
mhm.
you're so easy to talk to. And like, I can
Yeah,
tell if you're annoyed with me about something, but like, she just lets everything go so quickly that
yeah,
like, I was like, I don't foresee us like ever not being friends. And like, that's how I feel about you,
yeah, me too.
you know? So I don't think that, I mean, I don't think that we have anything to worry about. Greg loves us. Greg from E.G. Scott messaged me
Yes.
and was like, I'm caught up. I like love you guys and like
Yeah.
your relationship. And I was like, thank you.
No, thank you. That's so
I love
fun.
him. I
I
love
love
him.
knowing people are listening.
Even trolls. Okay, I need to stop choosing violence.
You're right.
I'm being
But
an
I will
asshole.
say when you told me we had our first troll, I was just like, we're legit. We're legit. It makes you even more legit if someone out there hates something.
I
I'm
just,
just poking your violence.
I just don't understand. I don't know. Like if you and I are talking, oh my God, you're
Yeah.
fucking just ruffling my feathers.
Yeah.
Um, the like my whole thing is like if you and I are talking and I'm
Mhm.
like we've done this before when like one of us kind of gives a little look when we're recording is
Yeah.
like if one of us like says like I loved this book and like it didn't work for you or I didn't like it, I might be
Mhm.
like if we're texting like I might be like oh my God I fucking hated that for like
Oh,
this
yeah. Yeah.
reason, but like if somebody posts a review on Instagram and they're like I love this book so much and I'm not going to be like this didn't work for me.
No, no, I
If
don't
I
get
post
that.
something on my story and someone's like, "Oh, I don't care about this," I'm like, "I don't give a shit what you care about. Like, move on."
Right. I didn't post it for you.
Yeah, like I am posting things that make me happy that I'm excited for. So like when somebody just I don't know, when they're like, "Oh, you guys have this opinion," like we never shut up. So like you know why
No.
we have the opinions that we have. So
Yeah.
I don't need somebody telling me I shouldn't like something. I should love something. I shouldn't like, I do like what I like and I don't like what I don't like. And
Yeah.
after
Everyone's
how I
allowed
woke
to.
up, I feel like I'm in my reputation era.
I think you're in your reputation era. I've been trying not to quote the songs just over and over and over again to
Could
you
you
because I've been listening
imagine
to it a lot.
if like a large inflatable snake rose up behind me and then there were
Behind you.
like pyro, like,
Yes. Everywhere. She's like
and I'm like, so yeah, I woke
like
up.
today we are spilling the tea.
Yeah, today there's just tea spillage. Well, I don't
Yeah.
know. Killing the tea actually works very well for that
That's true too.
because I'm
You're right.
killing the toxicity out of my life.
Yeah. Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. But
Yeah.
we probably know how to deal with people so well because we read so many toxic characters.
Yeah.
We're well
Yeah.
equipped.
I just, I don't know. I feel like in fiction, it's like, well, here's my thing.
You're right. It's vamped up.
I don't mind a toxic man. I don't mind a toxic
No.
man. Keep it interesting because I'm getting something out of it if you catch my drift.
Right.
what's like,
Yes. Oh,
what's drifting,
I caught it.
what's drifting. Like, I'm getting something out of it. So like, keep it
Yeah.
interesting if you want to. But when it comes to like any other relationship,
Yeah.
like friends, family, mailman, gro- grocery bagger, like,
I know.
get your
Now I want to
toxic,
have a feud with my mailman.
get your bullshit out of my life. I love, I love my mail lady. I have a mail
Oh
lady.
yeah, you said yours like kind of like knocks or rings the doorbell, or you
Hmm.
kind of talk to
She doesn't
her.
anymore
Oh, because it's cold.
because I got a big ass mailbox.
Oh,
I got a
nice for all
huge
your books.
mailbox, so she doesn't have to. And I
Oh,
feel
that's
like,
awesome.
as happy as I am for her,
Hmm.
she doesn't have to like pull in the driveway and like get out and ring the doorbell.
Yeah.
Excuse me. As happy as I am for her, I feel like I jinxed myself because ever since I got it, I get like legit like hardly any book mail now. And I don't know if it's just because it's like Esfido time or
Whoa,
I know. I'm like, well,
that's
but
concerning.
yeah. So yeah, I do love a male named Nate Jacobs. He can be toxic all he.
He can be toxic for however long he wants to.
Actually, can we have a crush corner really quick?
Yeah,
Okay.
always.
I do have another toxic crush.
Ooh,
Oh my god, he's he's under me.
he's under you. Well,
He's
that's
under
good. That's a
he's
good
under
start.
he's under my laptop. Okay, Seeing Strangers
Mm,
by
yes.
Sebastian J. Plata, Plata.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, I have been trying to get this book since the summer, and
Oh,
they were
really?
pushing back the pub date, and then like Amazon wasn't carrying it, but like other stores were. I ended up paying $45 for this, or maybe
Whoa, I didn't know it was so hard to get it.
40 to 45. And it was because like I ordered it from this bookstore and they were like, here's like what your shipping's going to be. Here's the price of the book. I think they asked for like some sort of donation. And I was like, I'll donate to anything if you just get this puppy in the mail. So
Right?
Greg in this book is very
Mm-hmm.
toxic and I
Mm-hmm.
love him dearly. So he is Nate Jacobs' competition. Um,
Okay.
I absolutely love this book so much. So much. I want it to be a movie. It is
Mm-hmm.
about a gay couple who, after 10 years, have an open relationship
Mm-hmm.
to spice things up so they don't get bored
Yeah.
having sex with one another. Go ahead, do it.
You
But
do what you want
then
to do
they decide they want to have a baby.
while being in an open relationship.
Kind
Or is
of.
that a spoiler?
No, they want to
Okay.
have a child. So they
Mm-hmm.
have a surrogate and
Okay.
she's pregnant, but they are basically have made the decision to close their relationship when the baby arrives. So like
Okay.
you can have this open relationship, you can hook up with whoever you want to,
Yeah.
but once this baby comes, like it's just you and me, pal.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of plays with that like open relationship, inviting other people into your bedroom. Like be careful who you
Yeah.
invite into your bedroom because they could be fucking
Psycho.
nuts.
Yeah.
So good.
When you finished reading that, you were even telling me how good it was. And
I'm
I've had it on
obsessed.
my list ever since you said that.
I love the cover.
But I need to get through the Burning Girl. I'm so close to being done with those. I mean, they were great, but I haven't gotten to my other recs from you.
I just love I just love where queer fiction is going in the thriller
Yeah.
genre.
Yeah.
Because you had like Bathhouse by PJ Vernon.
I haven't read that
Um,
one either.
so good, but it's about a guy who like kind of feels bored in his relationship, so he decides to like cheat and go to a bathhouse when his
Mm-hmm.
partner's out of town. And then when he goes into the bathhouse to get a little like hoo 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 ha ha ha, some guy tries to kill him, and he's like, I can't tell the police what really happened. And I can't tell my partner what happened to me because then everybody is going to know I'm a cheating dirtbag.
Oh my gosh.
And then this one, like homeboy Greg is very toxic but super sexy, and he's like I he basically is like I don't think this is like a spoiler because you just kind of know how he like the kind of person he is, but
Yeah,
like he's basically like, I have to like bang out as many guys as I can before this baby comes.
right?
And
Yeah,
then shit gets crazy.
I
So
bet it does.
that's my crush corner, Greg.
I'm excited.
Also,
I'm really excited
this
for
is
that
the
one.
author of the book.
Well, like, we can add him to the crush corner then too.
He's one of the nicest people in the entire world.
Well, that makes it even better.
I told him, like, I like slid into those DMs because I wouldn't shut up about this book on my stories. And I,
Yeah.
was like, I have the biggest crush on Greg. And he's like, that's a little concerning because everyone else hates him.
You were like, don't you want me to love your character?
And I was like, well, you know, what did my friend Cindy say yesterday? I said something about like a toxic romantic partner. And she was like,
Mhm.
I just feel like you're going to end up with the kind of guy that like one day he's going to snap and I'm just going to know that you're like, he's holding you hostage in a basement
I
and you're just like,
know.
fine. You're just like fine living your life that way.
Oh my gosh, she's not wrong. Now
And
I
I
have a
was
new
like,
fear unlocked.
I'm like, well,
Then Cindy and I, who will have never met, who still haven't met each other or talked to each other, then we'll band together to find you. And it'll be like the best thriller ever.
and you guys
And then we'll get there
find,
and you're like, I didn't want you to save me. I want to stay here.
you guys like find the house and you're like crouching down on this lawn
Yes.
looking in this basement window and I'm like, fuck out of here.
Yes. Leave me alone. This is great.
Out of here.
He brings me books. Like, I just
Yeah.
read all day.
I just read all day and then
Then
ask
he
him.
comes home and I
He,
don't read.
he comes home and he just tells me why he decided to keep me in this basement because he's the only one that wants to have me.
Isn't that so cute?
Don't you just love that? It's kind of like you've watched all of Euphoria, right?
Yeah.
I love the prom scene from the
Mm-hmm.
first season when like Maddie and Nate are like wanting to murder each other across the room and like Kat is like,
Yes.
I kind of feel like Maddie and Nate are going to like get married and divorced like 4 or 5 times but still like
They feel like that
happy
couple.
live happily ever after at the end of it and like
Mhm.
truly be the only ones that are happy out of all of us.
Yes. Yeah, probably. Or we had a couple like that that was just like on and off again all of high school. And then like they were on and off again all through like their freshman year of college, and then their sophomore year, they were like, all right, we're breaking up. Like they started living in different states at that point. And right after they decided that they were going to break up, she found out she was pregnant. And then they got back together and got married, and they've been married since then. So that's probably gonna be Nate and Maddie.
It's going to be me and Nate. Thank you very
Or you and
much.
Nate, even better, except who's getting pregnant?
Well, maybe it'll
You.
just be like absolutely. I'm way too selfish to have children. I've like said this to people
Me.
before because people have like a
Mhm.
tendency to like, I don't know what it is about, like maybe they just don't realize that I'm being bitchy and they think that I'm being really open, but like people have a tendency to like say something to me who don't know me very well and like, well, do you ever want children? And like knowing fully well that I'm like single and I haven't met like a partner yet. And
Right.
I'm like, no, I don't want children like Becky. You want to know what I want? I want to not wait 35 years to find my soulmate and then finally find him and share his attention with some fucking kid.
Yes,
No,
exactly.
I don't want children.
So here for
I've been
that.
searching for this guy my entire life, and you think I'm going to share my attention to with some kid? No, I do not.
I love that.
Like, think about like
I
the
also I
couples
don't know.
trips. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I want to experience those
Yes.
things like with my partner and I, not with
Yeah.
like some kid who we have to take to like water safari or like go on a freaking roller
Yes.
coaster and like throw up at 11 o'clock in the morning and ruin my whole day.
Yeah.
No. If
Yeah, do
that's
you
your vibe
I
and
also get like when I tell people I'm too selfish for it, people think I'm like shitting on myself and then feel the need to be like, "No, you're not. You're wonderful." And I'm like, "I'm not asking you to tell me I'm wonderful. I'm telling you I don't give up my free time the way you do."
yeah, I have like I
They
have
might do that more to women though.
I have friends who have like children. They're like, oh my God, this is so much work. But I can tell that they're happy.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Me too.
In
Me
it.
too.
I just don't
Yeah.
think that I would be happy doing that because I'm
Exactly.
much more selfish than they are.
Yeah.
And but I also don't like, and I mean nobody said this to me because there's not a chance of, I would have to go through a lot of hoops in order to have a child. You know,
I
like I'd have
know.
to like surrogate or adoption or whatever the case may be. Like it'd have to be something I really think about. You know what I mean? It's not like,
Hmm.
oh, I decided to buy like a larger SUV than I wanted. It's
Yeah.
you know, and
Well, and
but I
then there's
hate,
like deciding whose DNA it is and like all the complications of that
right. But like, I
if
mean,
you
so
went the surrogate route.
nobody's asked me this, but I've heard them say it to other people who like to other
Hmm.
women
Hmm.
where they're like, do you, oh, like I'm too selfish, like I don't want children. And they're like,
Hmm.
you never know how unselfish you can be until you have a child. And it's like,
Exactly.
listen, like that, I don't like, if I were a woman and somebody said that to me, I'd be like, I don't think that's a risk I'm willing to take. Like, I'm not
I
gonna be like, oh,
know.
you know what I should do? Like, let me get pregnant on purpose to like test how selfish I think I am.
I just agree
There's
with you
no
so
receipt
much.
with a child.
I know.
Like, you don't have a
And
child for a month and be like, actually, you know what? I don't think I was meant to do this. Return to
exactly.
sender.
Exactly. That's what I'll get it. And again, I agree with you so much. There are people who this is their journey and that needs to be a part
Yes.
of their journey is having kids. And I
Hmm.
think that's great.
Yeah.
And I'm open to the fact that my opinion can change in the future because my opinions on other things have changed before. But my favorite, I have come so close because what another thing women like to say to other women is you really don't want to experience that in your lifetime. Like you're willing to like pass up on that experience. And I always want to be like, do you plan on experiencing LSD in your lifetime? Like, I want to throw something ridiculous back at them. Like, oh, so we're just supposed to experience everything that we can in life.
Right, right. And like that's the thing too, is like obviously you and I are very understanding of how like everybody's different. They have different
Yeah.
interests. Like some people are more extroverted and social, and some people aren't,
Hmm.
and some people like movies over TV, and some people like books over whatever. I
Yeah.
just like books over bullshit and I like being left alone. So like leave
Yes. There's
me
another
be.
concern.
If you ask me a question and I give you an answer, it's not a debate. It's you asking me, do you ever want children? No, I do not. I have
Hmm.
not met the man of my dreams yet. And when I do, I want to do fun coupley things with him,
Yes.
even if it's just him sitting on a couch, staring at me, giving me compliments while I read a book about murder.
Right. That's
That's
the
what I
life.
want to experience in my life. You can experience parenthood in yours. You can
Yep.
stub your toe on a fucking rusty nail every day of your life for all I care if that's the
Yeah.
experience you want to have. Leave me alone.
Right. Yes.
Are you sure you don't want to?
Are you sure though?
Yeah.
I was like getting an ultrasound one time because I had a cyst. And the nurse, who is also a female, is just like, well, when do you think you're going to have kids? And I'm 21 at the time. And I was just like, I don't know that I want them at all. And she was like, she like patted my stomach, which like I wasn't
Oh,
pregnant. I had a cyst. And she's
yeah.
like rubbing the whatever that wand is like around, like looking for a cyst. And she's like, I was like that when I was 21 too. And now I have my kids. And I was just like, can we be done with this appointment, please?
There's such a difference in like uplifting somebody and like trying to like guilt or bully them into making the same
I
decision.
know.
Like if I said to you, like, do you ever want to have children?
Hmm.
And you were like, I don't think I would be a good mother. I
Hmm.
would be like, I think you are such a caring person that like if you decided to do that, you would be a fantastic mom. You have a heart of gold. You're
Yeah.
just a fucking perfect little angel. But like if you were like, no, I don't think that I want to have
Right.
children, like, okay,
Hmm.
cool. Like,
Yeah.
do you want to get a third
Yeah.
dog soon?
Right.
Like what are you doing for dinner? Like, I'm gonna move on. And
Yeah.
it's just so weird how people get in
Yeah.
your business.
It
You know
is.
what else I
And there,
hate?
go on. Tell
No,
me.
you finish.
Oh, I was going to say, there even was a time where I was afraid I couldn't be a good mom because of the mom I had. And then I got past that. And so even now, I'm like, don't think that that would be the problem. But I'm still like, I don't feel like having a kid right now, though.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like I don't even know if it's mom shaming if you have decided to not be a mom, but like I just don't like the whole like shaming people into like not making the
Mm-mm.
decisions that you've made.
Right.
Um, I also want to say for the record, like I do not like single shaming.
Right.
If you have a friend who is single and they're having a down moment on like
Mm-hmm.
Valentine's Day or like going to a wedding solo or something and they like want to
Yeah.
complain to you or they're having a moment where they're like, you know, like I really wish I could find a boyfriend or
Yeah.
like I really want to see that for me, like let them say it, but like you do not
Mm-hmm.
need to bring it up. If I had $1 for every time somebody said to me, "Oh, Gare, I just want you to find love."
Mm.
Okay, like
You're like, what am I supposed to say to that?
because my response is bitchy, right? My natural
Yeah.
response is bitchy.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes some people deserve that and some people don't. But like
Right. Exactly.
leave your single friends alone. I don't need you to tell me you want me to find love. I don't need you
Mm-mm.
to tell me you want me to find someone because at the end of the day, I've seen enough in other people's relationships to know that like being single isn't all that bad. And the
No,
way
it's
I
not.
see it, like, yes, I'm single.
And
Would
you
it be
should be
nice?
able to be single before you are
Right.
with someone all the time.
And I don't want to be with somebody all the time either. That's the thing
Right.
too, is I need my own like space. Like I'm never gonna
Yep.
be one of those people that like spends 24/7 with their partner because like I need time to myself and I
Yeah.
get sick of people very quickly like that. But
Yeah.
like if that's how you want to have your relationship, then like good for you if that's what makes you happy.
Right.
But like my whole thing is like I hate when people are like, I want you to find someone. I want to see
So
you with
weird.
somebody. And it's like, no, I want you to worry about
Why?
yourself because at the end of the day, like it would be nice, obviously, if Jacob Elordi like came and knocked on my door and was like, I can't stop thinking about you. I want to be with you. Or if I meet a guy that
He
gives
wouldn't
me the
say that nice though.
that gives me the same feeling as that.
Yes.
If I met somebody and it
Yes.
happened organically, like that would be nice. I'm not out searching for a relationship just so that I can be in a relationship. But I
Right.
also like everybody has different outlooks. My outlook on it is like I have been in love before.
Mm-hmm.
I've experienced love, I've experienced breakups, I've experienced that to know like when I'm on my deathbed, I'm going to honestly say like I know what it's like to be in love with someone. I know what it's like to be
Yeah.
heartbroken. I know I've experienced that. If I don't
Mm-hmm.
experience that between me saying this today and the day that I die, it's not going to affect me any because I've already
I don't.
experienced love. I don't need to spend
Yes.
my entire life with somebody who I'm going to bound to hate,
Yeah.
possibly, you
What
know?
when I met Tyler, I said I was never going to get married. And specifically, if anyone would have pushed me on the answer, and sometimes they did, I would have said basically that same thing, that I have no interest in being stuck with someone I hate for the rest of my lifetime.
Yeah.
Um, and then I met Tyler and was like, God damn it. So here we
But
are.
that's what I
But
mean about
I
like
went into it
organic.
was the same thing where like I was not looking for that. He was not looking for that. We were technically friends before we were together even.
Mhm.
Um and where else was I going with that? I might have completely lost it. There was one other part.
Was it people pressuring you into like meeting somebody?
Nope, it might just be gone. Oh, no, you were saying you don't want to be around someone 24/7. When we were first together, there was a book we read together slash listened to on audiobook.
That's cute.
It was like a memoir, a guy's memoir, just like things he's kind of like learned about relationships and stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, and he talked about how he would not commit to anyone until it was someone he could be alone with. And so then like his description of that was either like you could actually be sitting in the same room and be alone together, like actually feel like that person is a complete enough person that they're doing their own thing and you're doing your own thing, or that just like they allow you the space in the relationship to feel like you're
Yeah.
alone. So like when Tyler travels and can't talk for hours and hours and hours, it's like, yeah, that's just what you're doing. But he, even when he's traveling, has people who are like, oh, I need to go call my wife, or oh, I need to go text my wife back, or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, why would you want to live like that?
No. No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like really weird. I guess like one of the toxic things I hate is like people who like need to put their nose in your business. Like you
That
don't need
too,
to
yeah.
you don't need to ask somebody like when they're going to have a child.
No.
You don't need to ask like a woman, like, are you sure you don't want to be a mother? You don't need to ask me. Like, I just hate when like someone's like, I want you to find somebody. Because it's almost like you're saying it in like a pitiful way. And it's like,
Well,
what exactly is going to change in your life if I'm in a relationship?
exactly. And it's like it's rude
It's rude
in
to
my
assume that
opinion to
I
assume
want
that your
one.
life isn't complete because of it.
Exactly. I was gonna say that
Like,
too.
why
Like
are
my
you
life is
bringing it
not
up?
my I don't feel like I'm like I don't feel like I'm half of a couple walking around searching for like my other
Right.
half. I'm
Oh my
my
gosh,
own
that's the other.
person.
Mhm. That's
Like
another thing.
it's
Tyler and I are not like big romantics in that sense. And that was like the same thing to both of us. We're not like, oh, you're the missing puzzle piece, the only one that was gonna fit for me. Like all
no.
that. It just like puts so much pressure on it too.
Like
If
I
you're
don't
like,
even
you're the
think
only person I could be with.
no. I don't even think like I like to believe there's like somebody compatible out there for every person, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe in like there's somebody out there for everyone. And like you're just
No.
like walking around like, oh, the person you're meant to be with right now is just in the wrong relationship, or they're like in
Right.
Australia or something fighting a fucking kangaroo. I don't know. Like there's somebody out there that you're compatible with, but like at the end of the
Yes.
day, like there's not like the whole point of life isn't for me to go through it like waiting for the moment that I finally meet the person I'm supposed to be with.
No.
Because some
Not
people that I know have felt that way, and then like a couple years later their relationship's over, or all of their friends are
exactly.
like your relationship should be over, you know.
Yes.
So
That's the
I
part where
don't
like
know.
you meet someone that maybe the timing of your life you're interested in a relationship, or you just are compatible and keep getting closer to them. But then like what
Yeah,
decides whether it lasts or not is like how much effort you put into it.
but it's also how
Not
much
even
you're understanding of the other person.
exactly like how much you're willing to understand yourself and like share that part. And then also how much you're able to like wrap your head around the fact that the person you're with is not you and they do things
Yeah,
differently than you.
like if I met a guy and I was like, oh my god, he's like perfect on paper, being that he's like tall and I'm very attracted to him, and like he compliments me
Yes.
often. Like he's like, "Oh my god, what are you doing with your skin? I love whatever your cleanser is doing makes you look 20 years younger."
Yes.
Fine. But like
Yes.
if a week from now he's like, "Oh, like I wish you like went out to more parties with me, and like I wish you were more social, and I wish you like wanted to like go away every single weekend instead of like
Oof.
taking time to yourself and like relaxing, or like I wish you wanted to do all the things I wanted to do," I would literally know that there's coffee creamer in my refrigerator that's going to last longer than this relationship.
Yes. I was so sure you were about to say like I would be running in the other direction, and then all of a sudden you said coffee creamer, and I was like, did he just say coffee
Yeah, there's coffee creamer in my
I love
like
that
refrigerator that's going
analogy.
to last longer than you are, buddy.
Yeah.
My Starbucks oat
Same.
milk is going to be around longer than you.
Yeah, I don't like feeling bossed around or told to be
It's just like
something I'm not.
weird. It's just weird.
Hmm.
I like to go and like celebrate. Like if I give a shit about somebody, like I like to go and like celebrate, like when they're like, "Oh my God, I met somebody.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you." Or
Yeah.
like we decided to like do this in our relationship. Good for you. Like I like to be
Hmm.
the person that, but like I'm not gonna nose around and be like, when are you gonna get married? When are you gonna have children? Like
I
when are you gonna like
know.
your relationship and your life is not my business. Like I'm just here to like
Yeah.
celebrate the good things with you,
Yeah. Yeah.
be there as a friend for
Imagine that.
you when bad things happen,
Hmm.
and not cause unnecessary bullshit in your life
Hmm.
in the meantime.
Yeah.
So I have
Yeah.
more I have more things on my list to
Of
discuss.
icebreakers.
No,
Oh,
I have more titles on my list for today's subjects than I have friends in my
cool.
life that I would consider what I just told you. And you're
Me
one of
too.
them.
You too. Me too. You too.
And you're one of
Let's
them.
see. Actually, I'm thinking.
That was good. That was a good Bitch
That
session.
was really good. I think people will like it.
Not
We'll see.
everyone.
Well, the people, what is it? Anne
Yeah,
Lamott has
you
some
tighten
quote
that pony. You
yeah.
tighten that pony. You're like, whatever, let him.
Anne
Oh my
Lamott has
God.
some quote that's like, if they wanted to be remembered and written about fondly, they could have acted better. And that's how I feel. So,
If we ever make it big
mm-hmm.
in the podcast
When,
world and we go
mm-hmm.
on when we go on tour,
Mm-hmm.
I want that to be our introduction of you saying, I think people will like that. And then the dramatic pause
Yes.
of me saying, not everyone. And then like,
Oh my
like
gosh.
then
I
they
love
introduce us
that.
and we come out.
I love that.
I also want to meet you and Tyler in Vermont.
I know we need to.
He was like laughing at my thing that I shared yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Where it's like the little like stuffed monkey or whatever. And it's like when you're
Yes.
watching the serial killer documentary and they're like, they
I
spent a lot of
love
their time
that.
like, no, no, no. And
He
he
was
like
like, wait, I'm married to that too.
Tyler like laughed at it and I was like, I'm dead. And by that I mean if there's ever a serial, like I'm like literally dead. If there's ever a serial killer around, Tyler, I'm dead. You will have to
Yes.
take over. You will have to read a lot more books and take over my spot on the podcast.
Oh my gosh. That would
because
be funny though.
because right now I'm reading a crime fiction book, but I'm also reading a hockey smut book.
Oh my gosh, I was telling him about that. We were like loving it.
Oh
Just
my
the idea that
goodness.
it exists, and we love a good pun.
Puck boy.
Also, I got your DM while we were on that like really serious meeting with those boring people we work with. And so like I saw it and like smirked. And then like we got off the call and Tyler's like, so who sent you something on Instagram that made you smirk? And I was like, Gare.
Yeah, I like so yeah, Saxon James is like killing it with there's the Puck Boy series, and then there's a frat one that I really love.
uh
And then there's like the Divorced Men Club, which is like almost like a bi awakening, which I'm like super into
Ooh.
because yeah,
By awakening meaning
like men who are
the
married, like
men realize they like men after they're
yeah,
divorced from women.
like they divorce a woman and
A
then like
woman.
they like
Okay.
move in with
I didn't
their
know which way
like
it went.
they move in with their like
Nice.
best friend who's like gay, and then like like couple like shots of tequila, and he's like, well,
Nice.
I always wondered what it was like.
I wondered if it would work.
Yeah, so if you're a new baby gay out there and a man ever
Yeah.
tells you like, I always wondered what it'd be like with a guy, like you're gonna get laid.
Yeah.
That's like the
Yeah.
most like that's how it all starts.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed part 1 of this episode. If you did, make sure that you come back on Thursday for part 2. And don't forget to stay up to date with everything that we're reading and talking about on our Instagrams at Gare Indeed Reads and at the girl with the book on the couch. Links are also in the show notes, so make sure you follow.